this goes to the minister to very quickly distribute so that by the time the minister opens this, everybody will be so I think because you don't need the tray, but कितने हैं उस तरह से हाँ ये दोनों साथ में जाएगा क्योंकि एक होएगा उसके बाद हम रिमोट चाहिए actually put the remote there we could play next to the minister
The G20 New Delhi Leaders' Declaration has highlighted tourism and culture as keys to sustainable development and prosperity. The declaration also noted the Goa Roadmap for tourism as a vehicle.
May I request all those who are standing, if you're award winners, could you please take your seats? We've got volunteers up here who will help you be seated. Please be seated in the order in which your names have been put. And you'll be coming up in the same order.
मिशन लाइफ का मंत्र है लाइफस्टाइल फॉर एनवायरमेंट। पृथ्वी पर रहने वाले प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को व्यक्तिगत प्रयासों की कामना के साथ ही आज ये मिशन लाइफ का ये विजन दुनिया के सामने रख रहा हूं।
प्रकृति बेटा, पृथ्वी पर तुम्हें क्या करना है तुम्हें पता है ना?
मुझे लोगों को प्यार से इंस्पायर और लाइफ के लिए एजुकेट करना है ताकि वो नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज का उपयोग कर इस पृथ्वी को बचाए रखें।
इसमें तुम्हारी मदद करेंगी ये 3 चीजें। पहली, टियारा ऑफ फ्लावर्स जो तुम्हें हमेशा हैप्पी और एनर्जेटिक रखेंगे। दूसरा, ये बैज ऑफ लाइफ जो लोगों को पर्यावरण के लिए लाइफ जीवन शैली की याद दिलाएगा। जब वे प्रकृति की रक्षा करेंगे तो प्रकृति उनकी रक्षा करेगी। तुम ये बैज उन लोगों को भी दे सकती हो जो हमारे प्लानेट की बेहतरी के लिए योगदान करते हैं। और तीसरा, ये बैग ऑफ होप। जब भी कोई एनवायरनमेंट को हार्म करे तो तुम इसमें से इको सस्टेनेबल ऑल्टरनेटिव निकाल कर उसे देना।
ओके, अब मैं अपने मिशन पर चलती हूँ। है एक जीवन, है एक मिशन। सब मिलकर करें पर्यावरण संरक्षण, पर्यावरण संरक्षण। हर पल गांव और शहर शहर चले इको फ्रेंडली डिस्पोजेबल्स की लहर लहर। कारपूल को अब सब जने अपनाएंगे, अपना शॉपिंग बैग साथ ले जाएंगे। सस्टेनेबल लाइफस्टाइल का है नारा, है ये लक्ष्य हमारा हमारा हमारा। अब हर जन एक पेड़ लगाएगा, लगाएगा, पर्यावरण को स्वच्छ बनाएगा, बनाएगा। हो सबकी भागीदारी तो खुशियां हरदम हरदम।
पर्यावरण वन और जलवायु परिवर्तन मंत्रालय, भारत सरकार।
मिशन लाइफ का मंत्र है लाइफस्टाइल फॉर एनवायरमेंट। पृथ्वी पर रहने वाले प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को व्यक्तिगत प्रयासों की कामना के साथ ही आज ये मिशन लाइफ का ये विजन दुनिया के सामने रख रहा हूं।
This is for the attention of all award winners.
पता है ना,
मुझे लोगों को प्यार से
Award winners, kindly pay attention. Your names have been arranged in the order in which you're going to come up.
तुम्हारी मदद
इसका
करेंगी
volume
ये
थोड़ा
तीन
कम कर दें,
चीजें।
please.
पहली, tiara of flowers,
Film का?
जो तुम्हें हमेशा हैप्पी और एनर्जेटिक रखेंगे। दूसरा,
Award winners, kindly pay attention. Your names have been arranged in the order in which you're going to be called and you'll be coming up. Award winners to be seated in the area that is designated for them. The others who are accompanying the award winners may please sit on the other side, not with the award winners.
alternative निकालकर उसे
So just 2 people from every village or representing the state are seated, and the rest of the guests who are accompanying them, please be seated elsewhere. Please be seated quickly. Those standing in the central aisle, may I request you to please be seated. Please allow our volunteers to seat the award winners.
अपना शॉपिंग बैग साथ ले जाएंगे। सस्टेनेबल लाइफस्टाइल का है नारा, है ये लक्ष्य हमारा हमारा हमारा। अब हर जन एक पेड़ लगाएगा, लगाएगा, पर्यावरण को स्वच्छ बनाएगा, बनाएगा। हो सबकी भागीदारी तो खुशियां हरदम हरदम।
पर्यावरण वन और जलवायु परिवर्तन मंत्रालय, भारत सरकार।
मिशन लाइफ का मंत्र है लाइफस्टाइल फॉर एनवायरमेंट। पृथ्वी पर रहने वाले प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को व्यक्तिगत प्रयासों की कामना के साथ ही आज ये मिशन लाइफ का ये विजन दुनिया के सामने रख रहा हूं।
प्रकृति बेटा, पृथ्वी पर तुम्हें क्या करना है तुम्हें पता है ना?
मुझे लोगों को प्यार से इंस्पायर और लाइफ के लिए एजुकेट करना है ताकि वो नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज का उपयोग कर इस पृथ्वी को बचाए रखें।
इसमें तुम्हारी मदद करेंगी ये 3 चीजें। पहली, टियारा ऑफ फ्लावर्स जो तुम्हें हमेशा हैप्पी और एनर्जेटिक रखेंगे। दूसरा, ये बैज ऑफ लाइफ जो लोगों को पर्यावरण के लिए लाइफ जीवन शैली की याद दिलाएगा। जब वे प्रकृति की रक्षा करेंगे तो प्रकृति उनकी रक्षा करेगी। तुम ये बैज उन लोगों को भी दे सकते हो जो हमारे प्लानेट की बेहतरी के लिए योगदान करते हैं। और तीसरा, ये बैग ऑफ होप। जब भी कोई एनवायरनमेंट को हार्म करे तो तुम इसमें से इको सस्टेनेबल ऑल्टरनेटिव निकाल कर उसे देना।
ओके, अब मैं अपने मिशन पर चलती हूँ। है एक जीवन, है एक मिशन, आओ हम सब मिलकर करें पर्यावरण संरक्षण, पर्यावरण संरक्षण। हर पल गांव और शहर शहर चले इको फ्रेंडली डिस्पोजेबल्स की लहर लहर। कारपूल को अब सब जने अपनाएंगे, अपना शॉपिंग बैग साथ ले जाएंगे। सस्टेनेबल लाइफस्टाइल का है नारा, है ये लक्ष्य हमारा, हमारा हमारा। अब हर जन एक पेड़ लगाएगा, लगाएगा, पर्यावरण को स्वच्छ बनाएगा, बनाएगा। वो सबकी भागीदारी तो खुशियाँ हरदम, हरदम।
पर्यावरण, वन और जलवायु परिवर्तन मंत्रालय, भारत सरकार।
मिशन लाइफ का मंत्र है लाइफस्टाइल फॉर एनवायरमेंट। पृथ्वी पर रहने वाले प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को व्यक्तिगत प्रयासों की कामना के साथ ही आज ये मिशन लाइफ का ये विजन दुनिया के सामने रख रहा हूं।
प्रकृति बेटा, पृथ्वी पर तुम्हें क्या करना है तुम्हें पता है ना?
मुझे लोगों को प्यार से इंस्पायर और लाइफ के लिए एजुकेट करना है ताकि वो नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज का उपयोग कर इस पृथ्वी को बचाए रखें।
इसमें तुम्हारी मदद करेंगी ये 3 चीजें। पहली, टियारा ऑफ फ्लावर्स जो तुम्हें हमेशा हैप्पी और एनर्जेटिक रखेंगे। दूसरा, ये बैज ऑफ लाइफ जो लोगों को पर्यावरण के लिए लाइफ जीवन शैली की याद दिलाएगा। जब वे प्रकृति की रक्षा करेंगे तो प्रकृति उनकी रक्षा करेगी। तुम ये बैज उन लोगों को भी दे सकते हो जो हमारे प्लानेट की बेहतरी के लिए योगदान करते हैं। और तीसरा, ये बैग ऑफ होप। जब भी कोई एनवायरनमेंट को हार्म करे तो तुम इसमें से इको सस्टेनेबल ऑल्टरनेटिव निकाल कर उसे देना।
ओके, अब मैं अपने मिशन पर चलती हूँ। है एक जीवन, है एक मिशन, आओ हम सब मिलकर करें पर्यावरण संरक्षण, पर्यावरण संरक्षण। हर पल गांव और शहर शहर चले इको फ्रेंडली डिस्पोजेबल्स की लहर लहर। कारपूल को अब सब जने अपनाएंगे, अपना शॉपिंग बैग साथ ले जाएंगे। सस्टेनेबल लाइफस्टाइल का है नारा, है ये लक्ष्य हमारा, हमारा हमारा। अब हर जन एक पेड़ लगाएगा, लगाएगा, पर्यावरण को स्वच्छ बनाएगा, बनाएगा। वो सबकी भागीदारी तो खुशियाँ हरदम, हरदम।
पर्यावरण, वन और जलवायु परिवर्तन मंत्रालय, भारत सरकार।
मिशन लाइफ का मंत्र है लाइफस्टाइल फॉर एनवायरमेंट। पृथ्वी पर रहने वाले प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को व्यक्तिगत प्रयासों की कामना के साथ ही आज ये मिशन लाइफ का ये विजन दुनिया के सामने रख रहा हूं।
प्रकृति बेटा, पृथ्वी पर तुम्हें क्या करना है तुम्हें पता है ना?
मुझे लोगों को प्यार से इंस्पायर और लाइफ के लिए एजुकेट करना है ताकि वो नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज का उपयोग कर इस पृथ्वी को बचाए रखें।
इसमें तुम्हारी मदद करेंगी ये 3 चीजें। पहली, टियारा ऑफ फ्लावर्स जो तुम्हें हमेशा हैप्पी और एनर्जेटिक रखेंगे। दूसरा, ये बैज ऑफ लाइफ जो लोगों को पर्यावरण के लिए लाइफ जीवन शैली की याद दिलाएगा। जब वे प्रकृति की रक्षा करेंगे तो प्रकृति उनकी रक्षा करेगी। तुम ये बैज उन लोगों को भी दे सकती हो जो हमारे प्लानेट की बेहतरी के लिए योगदान करते हैं। और तीसरा, ये बैग ऑफ होप। जब भी कोई एनवायरनमेंट को हार्म करे तो तुम इसमें से इको सस्टेनेबल ऑल्टरनेटिव निकाल कर उसे देना।
ओके, अब मैं अपने मिशन पर चलती हूँ। है एक जीवन, है एक मिशन, आओ हम सब मिलकर करें
There are just a few changes
पर्यावरण
happening here.
संरक्षण, पर्यावरण
So now this is
संरक्षण।
final.
हर
But
गाँव
after this,
गाँव और शहर शहर चले इको फ्रेंडली डिस्पोजेबल्स की लहर लहर। कारपूल को अब सब जने अपनाएंगे, अपना शॉपिंग बैग साथ ले जाएंगे। सस्टेनेबल लाइफस्टाइल का है नारा, है ये लक्ष्य हमारा, हमारा हमारा। अब हर जन एक पेड़ लगाएगा, लगाएगा, पर्यावरण को स्वच्छ बनाएगा, बनाएगा। वो सबकी भागीदारी तो खुशियाँ हरदम, हरदम।
पर्यावरण, वन और जलवायु परिवर्तन मंत्रालय, भारत सरकार।
ladies and gentlemen, those of you standing near the doors, may I ask you to either be seated in the adjoining room right in front of me, that is hall number 19. We have space for those who have not got a seat here. Please move to hall number 19. We have a screen there. You'll be able to be a part of the program and you'll also have a chair to sit on. Please don't crowd the entrance. Those who are standing near the entrance, please find a seat or please move to hall number 19. All award winners, please be seated. The Honorable Minister is here and we're going to start the program. May I request those who are standing near the door, please move to hall number 19. Please be seated. All of you, please move into hall number 19. May I request those who are standing near the doors, the Honorable Minister is coming in, please move from the door. Thank you. Namaskar, good morning ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Ministry of Tourism, I welcome you all to the global launch of Travel for Life on World Tourism Day to present the Travel for Life program for both domestic and international travelers. We're pleased to have with us the Honorable Minister and other guests who are joining us on this days now. May I request you all to please be seated. Friends, the recently concluded G20 Leaders Summit in Delhi has noted G20 Goa Roadmap as a blueprint for achieving sustainable development goals. May I request those who are standing, we have space in the adjoining hall right opposite this hall, hall number 19. Please move into hall number 19 and be seated there. Introduced by the Hon'ble Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, in 2021 during the 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference of Parties in Glasgow, the mission LiFE is a global mass movement led by India, urging individuals and communities to act for protection of the environment against the effects of climate change. Tourism is one of the fastest growing economic sectors and has significant impact on trade, job creation, investment, infrastructure development, and social inclusion. It is a resource demanding sector, and hence it directly impacts the environment, culture, heritage, as well as social resources. The Ministry of Tourism, inspired by Mission LiFE, has taken the initiative Travel for Life, a sectoral program for tourism, which calls for a transition from use and dispose economy to a circular economy, characterized by mindful and deliberate utilization of resources instead of mindless and destructive consumption to preserve the resources of the environment. Apart from nudging tourists and tourism businesses to practice a lifestyle that is synchronous with nature, it aims to encourage large-scale behavioral changes and mainstream sustainability. It also promotes sustainable economic development, encourages consumption and production, and thereby contributes to the SDGs. On this occasion, ladies and gentlemen, a host of initiatives are going to be launched by the Ministry of Tourism, and we'll be joined virtually by the G20 countries, the Indian missions abroad, international organizations, and destination management committees from the Swadesh Darshan destinations. We also have with us today domain experts, industry stalwarts, and stakeholders joining us. So a very warm welcome to you all. Please be seated. Those of you who do not have seats here, we've got an adjoining hall, which is right opposite this hall, and you'll be able to find a seat there. Please join us then. I'd like to now start by requesting the Additional Secretary, the Ministry of Tourism, Mr. Rakesh Kumar Verma, to please welcome all our guests, speakers and participants, and give us an overview of the program.
Good morning, everyone. At the outset, I would like to extend my greetings to all of you on this World Tourism Day 2023. I would like to extend my warm welcome to all the dignitaries, our chief guest, Honorable Minister of State for Tourism and Defence, Shri Ajay Bhattji, Honorable State Ministers. We have State Minister, Tourism Minister from Mizoram, Secretary Tourism, Madam V. Vidyavati ji, Secretary Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Madam Leena Nandan ji, Shri Atul Bagai ji, Country Head UNEP, Shri Nakul Anand ji, Chairman Faith. I would also like to welcome all the colleagues from the central ministries, state governments and industry to the event. I would like to welcome representatives of G20 countries and Indian missions abroad who are connected with us virtually. I would also like to welcome all the representatives of the villages which are going to be honored today with Best Tourism Village recognition. I would also like to welcome district collectors and members of destination management committees who have joined us virtually. Last but not the least, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all our friends from media. I would like to give a brief overview of the program today. Inspired by the vision of Honorable Prime Minister for Mission LiFE, the Ministry of Tourism is launching Travel for Life, a program for tourism sector to promote sustainable tourism. The Ministry of Tourism has partnered with Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, United Nations World Tourism Organization, United Nations Environment Program for this global launch of Travel for Life. You will hear more about the program from our speakers today, from government, industry and international organizations. The launch of Travel for Life will be followed by Place for Travel for Life. Apart from global unveiling of this program today, we have a host of other initiatives which are being launched today. Ministry of Tourism is launching Swachhata campaign at 108 sites across the country. Ministry of Tourism is also launching a Travel for Life case study competition, Tourism for Tomorrow, which will invite best practices on various priority areas of Goa Roadmap from public sector and private sector. We are also honoring best tourism villages from the selected entries of the competition for 2023 and launching the competition for 2024. We have also another competition which is edible cutlery, again linked with Mission Life, and merchandise for Yuva tourism clubs to engage with youth with tourism sector. I once again welcome all of you and hope today's event marks the beginning of a global movement towards sustainable and responsible tourism. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The Government of India is leveraging the tourism sector to promote sustainable development and align its policies with international goals and commitments. Today, it is being accepted as a global movement by the tourism sector. That is the Travel for Life program that is being brought into the mainstream of the tourism sector. And it is imperative that we should get to know more about this and how it is based on the Goa Roadmap to achieve the SDGs. So to tell us more on this and its varied dimensions, may I now request the Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Ms. Vidyavati, to please tell us more.
Good morning, Namaskar. Honorable Union Minister for State, Ajay Bhatt, Honorable Ministers from the states who have joined us virtually and in person, Secretary Minister of Environment, Leena ma'am, colleagues from state government, industry, and friends from the media. And all the missions from abroad who have linked us, in spite of the time difference, to the function today. A very, very good morning to you again. And it's an honor to be here on this occasion of World Tourism Day 2023. It's a celebration and it is a huge opportunity for us to rethink and recalibrate what we can as a society do towards promoting sustainable and responsible travel, which is the main theme of the conference here with the event here today. It's a very significant step to unite sustainability with tourism as we elevate the Travel for Life initiative, which is a part of the Mission for Life initiative launched and announced by the Hon'ble Prime Minister, which has also been taken note of the New Delhi Declaration of the G20. This shows our commitment towards a sustainable, resilient and inclusive tourism sector, and Travel for Life, which has never been more stronger, and Travel for Life stands as proof of this commitment. As I said, it's a global movement set forth by the Honorable Prime Minister, and it's about creating an harmonious relationship between tourism and environment, about ensuring that our travels enrich the lives of people around us. Today, as we are here, we would certainly like to hear from the representatives of the industry, from the state governments, and most importantly, from the representatives of the villages who have come here, because the practices which have been followed in our villages actually lend themselves to creating a more sustainable travel and tourism ecosystem. And I think it's only fair that we talk less and we hear more. On that note, I'll pause here and I'll request that all of us should be listening to the speakers. I would like to hear more from you, and in the process, if each of us adopt the pledge which we propose to unveil very shortly.
From the states who have joined here, delegates, participants from the country and abroad, very good morning to all of you. It is a matter of great pleasure for the Environment and Forest Ministry in particular to see the way that the tourism sector, driven by the Tourism Ministry, has mainstreamed the idea of lifestyle for environment, or LiFE in short, into its entire planning, outreach, and into its entire philosophy. When we talk about sustainable lifestyles, it's all right, it is mindful utilization of resources, but what exactly does this mindfulness translate into in terms of our actions? And in terms of our actions as individuals, as societies, and as organizations? That is something that we from the Environment and Forest and Climate Change Ministry have been taking up with so many other stakeholders within the country and abroad. And we have found that this idea has resonated wonderfully. Because now it is well accepted and understood that the challenge of climate change has to be met by governments, by organizations, and by individuals through positive and proactive environment-related actions. So when we talk about the amount of energy that we consume in our daily lives, in our offices, in our businesses, the amount of water that we could save potentially in all the actions that we undertake, and the kind of waste management practices that we are observing, the segregation of waste. So all of these are actions that normally are understood as actions by individuals. But take it to a larger sphere. Look at it from the perspective of so much of aggregation. And what does this contribute to? There was a study done by the IEA during the G20, when the Development Working Group was deliberating on all the principles of LiFE. And that study came out with a very startling conclusion. Almost 20% of the consumption of the emissions across the world can be reduced if individuals come together to follow sustainable lifestyles. So the choices that we make, the actions, the behaviors that we show, all of them can make a positive effect, and on the other side can also adversely impact the environment. Therefore, the principle of circularity was taken up by our ministry, and the importance of circularity in various economic activities. And here I will connect with the economic activities that are undertaken by one of the key stakeholders of the tourism ministry, that is the hospitality sector. Through the hotels, the restaurants, the whole approach towards circularity, minimizing waste, mindfully reutilizing, reduce waste, reuse and recycle. And in the way that the way that we are designing our hotels, the way that we are actually doing wastewater management, recycling it, reusing it, all of these are approaches that have the concept of life embedded in them. So once we are cognizant of this entire line of thought, and once we embrace the principles of life, that itself will show us the way forward. And India has given this mantra to the world. When the Hon'ble Prime Minister attended COP21 in Glasgow, COP26 in 2021, and he enunciated the principles of lifestyle, sustainable lifestyle. Since then, it has only picked up momentum. It has gained more and more resonance with more and more understanding and appreciation that indeed the world has the potential to do things differently. So while on the one hand we focus on reducing the carbon emissions through our various initiatives that different sectors are doing, at the other we also look at embracing healthy lifestyles through the travel, the means of transport, use of electric vehicles, less consumption of water and electricity, and the way that we design our businesses, our enterprises. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change had come out with a series of creative ideas with a mascot Prakriti, the little girl who has very interesting messages put in a very simple manner. And I am happy and I am grateful to the Secretary of Tourism for having taken up this in a much more innovative way. So today you see a very cute looking Prakriti who is completely involved in giving tourism messages. So she is very relevant to the tourism sector. And there are so many different dimensions that Prakriti can take, because the message that she gives us is very uniform. Mindful utilization of resources. And the minute we think about it and we examine our own actions, I think all of us become more conscious. We embrace the principles of sustainability. And again, India, taking this cue from the G20 Leaders Declaration, has taken this initiative today on World Tourism Day. And we are very happy that so many countries have also joined and are similarly going to take forward the principles of sustainability into tourism and travel. So every aspect of the tourism activities, be it the use of, removing not only the single-use plastics, but other plastic material that is at the moment getting used, replacing it with something which is resource-friendly, which is from natural materials. The movement that we do through clean energy transport solutions, the way that we encourage local heritage, and that is why the awards to the winners from villages across the country is something that is really worth appreciation, because these are the places where our natural and cultural heritage is really protected, and the sustainability starts from there. And therefore, upstreaming these ideas of sustainability into tourism in a larger sphere is really a remarkable outcome, I'm sure, of today's deliberations and discussions. So I would like to conclude by saying that the principles of lifestyle for environment in our daily lives and daily choices, and especially in tourism and travel, from the way that the tour operators plan the itineraries and the movements, the way the hospitality sector embeds the principles of sustainability into its designs, into the conferences and exhibitions and events that it is organizing, and the way that every single individual tourist as a consumer can be encouraged and nudged towards environment-friendly behaviors. I think this is a great opportunity for us to put our thoughts together, to get all the stakeholders together, and again, show the way forward as the principle of LiFE has shown the way forward to the world when we are addressing the issue of climate change. Thank you once again for involving the Environment, Forest and Climate Change Ministry in this endeavor, and we will continue to be working with you very actively and supporting in whichever way we can. Thank you and all the very best.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now a few elements for launch, and I'd like to request the Honorable Minister of State for Tourism and Defense to please do this honor for us one by one. And we begin with the launch of Travel for Life program as a global movement. We have a program booklet as well as the remote next to you, sir. First, we'll begin with the booklet. As I had mentioned at the outset, the mission LiFE was introduced by the Hon'ble Prime Minister during the COP26 in Glasgow. Travel for Life, a sectoral program, has been initiated by the Ministry of Tourism in alignment with the philosophy of mission LiFE. This program will encourage tourists to take simple actions that result in conservation of the environment, biodiversity, improvement in the local economy, and preservation of the socio-cultural integrity. If you could click on the remote, sir, we have the video that will play out. It's there on your table, yes.
The G20 New Delhi Leaders' Declaration has
seated,
highlighted tourism and culture as keys to sustainable development and prosperity. The declaration also noted the Goa Roadmap for tourism as a vehicle for achieving the sustainable development goals. The Goa Roadmap for tourism is a pioneering initiative for sustainable global tourism aligned with India's G20 presidency theme of One Earth, One Family, One Future. The New Delhi Leaders' Declaration also noted the launch of Travel for Life, a program initiated by the Ministry of Tourism that aligns with the philosophy of Mission LiFE. Mission LiFE, Lifestyle for Environment, is a global movement led by India, promoting a pro-planet people mindset with a focus on lifestyle of the planet, for the planet, by the planet. Introduced by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi at COP26 in Glasgow.
आज जरूरत है कि हम सभी लोग एक साथ आकर कलेक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन के साथ लाइफस्टाइल फॉर एनवायरनमेंट यानी लाइफ को एक अभियान की तरह आगे बढ़ाएं।
LiFE mission was formally launched by the Honorable Prime Minister on the 19th of October 2022 in the presence of the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres at the Statue of Unity, Ekta Nagar, Gujarat. Travel for Life is an initiative giving flight to the Mission LiFE philosophy, promoting sustainable travel practices for environmental protection and socio-cultural sustainability. It aspires to bring large-scale behavioral change among stakeholders, simultaneously causing a change in demand. Phase 1, tourists and a change in supply. Phase 2, tourism businesses, to achieve awareness and adoption of responsible consumption and production of tourism products and services. The program has identified an illustrative list of actions that are designed in line with the 8 themes of Travel for Life. Save energy, save water, say no to single-use plastic, reduce waste, empower local businesses and communities, respect local culture and heritage, consume local foods, conserve nature. It details simple actions that can easily be adopted by tourists and tourism businesses, such as the tourist can carry their own water bottles during travel, prefer low-impact transportation modes, prefer locally available and seasonal food, prefer to spend at least 5% on local products, souvenirs. The tourism business can prefer to use eco-friendly vernacular construction material and eco-friendly amenities in accommodation services, develop tours and experiences that contribute positively to the conservation of nature. It also aims to encourage sustainable practices for tourism businesses with Travel for Life, a signed-up badge. Subsequently, the tourism businesses can head towards the Travel for Life certification in bronze, silver and gold. The program provides a range of IEC and capacity building activities for stakeholders to promote acceptance of Travel for Life by tourists and tourism businesses. We are also accelerating the adoption of Travel for Life by giving it widespread visibility on the new Incredible India platform. On Incredible India, a traveler can discover a landing page where they get to know about various Travel for Life actions. See Travel for Life certified businesses and take a pledge for a better future. Travel for Life program aspires to achieve reducing dependence on conventional energy, thereby reducing greenhouse gases emissions. Reduction in water consumption, reduction in waste generation by using alternatives to single-use plastic, adoption of healthy lifestyle and sustainable food practices, increased social inclusivity in tourism, increase in the number of TFL certified tourism service providers. Travel for Life program aims to contribute to the Mission Life targets and global commitment to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. The Ministry of Tourism, Government of India invites all tourists and tourism businesses to undertake the Travel for Life actions and participate in the initiative to safeguard our planet, people and prosperity. Travel for Life. Join the network of pro-planet people for responsible travel.
Next, we have the launch for Travel for Life competition. Once again, may I request the Honourable Minister to please click on the remote. Under India's G20 presidency, 5 key priority areas were identified for the tourism sector as key building blocks to quicken the transition of
The
tourism
G20 New
sector.
Delhi Leaders' Declaration noted Goa Roadmap for tourism as a vehicle to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. The declaration also noted the launch of Travel for Life and supported the development of smart destinations that are responsible and sustainable. Goa Roadmap provides a new direction for the tourism sector, outlining the challenges, objectives, opportunities and recommendations under 5 key priority areas for the tourism sector to achieve SDGs. To create a lasting legacy for India's G20 presidency, the Ministry of Tourism has set up the G20 Tourism and SDGs Dashboard in collaboration with UNWTO. This first-of-its-kind dashboard showcases the best practices and case studies from G20 countries aimed at achieving SDGs. The Ministry of Tourism is all set to take the G20 momentum forward and announces the launch of Travel for Life Case Study Competition, Tourism for Tomorrow. This pioneering initiative calls on line ministries and state governments, travel, tourism and hospitality industries, related industries and stakeholders to share their best practices that have successfully contributed to sustainable tourism in India. These case studies should have addressed the challenges identified under the 5 key priority areas of the Goa Roadmap. Driven by the Hon'ble Prime Minister's vision of developing tourism in mission mode, the Travel for Life case study competition shall be a catalyst for change, showcasing best practices which can support the transformation of tourism towards a more sustainable, responsible and resilient future through collaboration and knowledge sharing. An incredible array of rewards awaits the winning entries. The shortlisted case studies will be featured on the Sustainable Tourism website of Ministry of Tourism and a national compendium to foster mutual learning and collective action in advancing towards SDGs. The Ministry of Tourism will further support selected entries in each priority area of Goa Roadmap in areas of business development, networking and impact creation. Participate in the competition today and accelerate India's progress towards the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Share your best practices and be recognized for your commitment and contribution towards sustainability. Ministry of Tourism invites both public sector and private sector to be a part of this game-changing transition of the tourism sector. Don't let this opportunity slip away. Visit our portal for more details. Let your innovative practices of today shape a brighter tomorrow for tourism. Travel for Life Case Study Competition. Tourism for tomorrow.
We now have the Travel for Life pledge that we request everyone to please take, as I request the Director General Tourism, Ma'am Manisha Saxena, to please administer. We will have it up on the screen for you. Ma'am, you can just read. Yeah. You can use that podium and just read it from there. Please rise, ladies and gentlemen, to take the pledge.
Good morning. I would read out the pledge and you can read out after me. I shall adopt a planet-friendly lifestyle during travel. I shall encourage my friends and family to adopt responsible behavior while traveling. I shall respect local culture and learn about my heritage. I shall avoid single-use plastic during my travel. And I shall preserve natural heritage. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Travel for Life program, as I mentioned, will be encouraging tourists who take simple actions that result in conservation of the environment, of the biodiversity, improvement in the local economy, and preservation of the socio-cultural integrity of local communities. So it is a program for all the thematic areas of tourism, such as adventure, cruise, etc. And we have messages now from international tourism experts on Travel for Life. So let's hear them. Could you please play the messages for us?
Hello, I want to extend our heartfelt appreciation to the Ministry of Tourism of India for their unwavering commitment to sustainable tourism and for introducing the Travel for Life initiative. Dominated by small business in the rural areas or in wilderness environments, adventure travel has a deep impact on human and nature capital and views the protection and promotion of this resource as central to its continued success. Our community is pleased to join the pro-planet people and pledge to actively promote all adventure tourism activities, keeping in mind the Travel for Life initiative. It's inspired to me to see how Travel for Life aims to support behavioral change among tourists too. Once again, I applaud the Minister of Tourism of India for taking this significant step towards responsible travel. Together, we can create a world where travel truly benefits everyone. Happy adventures, everyone. Thank you so much.
The G20 New Delhi Leaders Declaration has underscored the pivotal role tourism and culture plays in fostering sustainable socio-economic growth and prosperity. It recognizes the Goa Roadmap for tourism, in which we were all involved, as a powerful vehicle for realizing the UN SDGs. Now, these encompass everything from energy and water conservation to lending support to local communities and showing reverence for our rich cultural heritage. And the best part? These actions are readily accessible and open to one and all. But our commitment doesn't stop there. The Travel for Life program strives to kindle a deeper dedication to sustainability among tourism businesses. And they do that through the pursuit of certifications and badges, thereby setting a heightened standard for responsible tourism. Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar.
Thank you very much.
I'm delighted to be involved today for the launch of Travel for Life. I want to extend our congratulations to India's Ministry of Tourism for its leadership in this initiative and its commitment to the important principles of sustainable tourism. This is a commitment that we too share as a global cruise industry, and it is at the heart of our vision for the future. In destinations around the world, cruise lines are working with communities to shape and manage visitation in ways that maximize the benefits of tourism, while also protecting environmental, social, and cultural imperatives. Travel for Life aligns with worldwide initiatives such as Mission Life and the pursuit of Sustainable Development Goals. These are principles that guide not only the international cruise industry, but should extend right across the broader landscape of tourism. I want to commend India's Ministry of Tourism for their leadership in this project. Let's all collaborate on this journey with Travel for Life.
Shri Nakul Anand ji, Chairman Faith, Shrimati Manisha Saxena ji, DG Tourism, Shri Rakesh Verma ji, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, officials of the nations for the sustainable future. The G20 New Delhi Leaders Summit acknowledged the essential role of tourism and culture and advancing sustainable socio-economic development. The Ministry of Tourism's recent initiative, Travel for Life, is a proof to our commitment to promoting sustainable tourism. The G20 New Delhi Leaders Declaration also noted the launch of Travel for Life and supported the development of smart destinations that are responsible and sustainable. I request every traveler, every businessman, and every citizen to adopt this program. Your presence signifies a united front in advocating for the Travel for Life program. Your participation and insights are invaluable in promoting an environmentally conscious and responsible tourism sector. To all the Indian missions abroad, I convey my deep appreciation for your firm commitment in promoting Indian tourism and culture globally. Now your dedication and efforts play an important role in showcasing Travel for Life principles on the global stage. Friends, tourism is not just about sightseeing, it's about experiences and understanding. It's about living the heritage and cherishing it. Our ancient philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family, finds its true expression in tourism. It reminds us of our shared heritage, our common future, and our collective responsibility towards our planet. Our country has also come across as a strong destination for MICE tourism when we successfully conducted G20 meeting in 60 destinations. Today's venue Bharat Mandapam and the newly inaugurated Yashobhumi Convention Center in Delhi are two world-class MICE facilities, ready to host conference tourism from all parts of the world. I am also happy to acknowledge the active involvement of Yuva Tourism Club in today's event. I am also excited to announce the launch of the Design Challenge for Edible Cutlery by the Ministry of Tourism. This innovative initiative promotes sustainability and also showcases our commitment to reducing environmental footprints. I would like to congratulate all the 35 distinguished winners of rural tourism villages. Your dedication and enthusiasm are commendable, and the Ministry of Tourism stands committed to supporting and amplifying your efforts. Friends, the Travel for Life program, which is a part of Mission Life, sets out the path to a sustainable planet Earth. As responsible citizens, let us lead by example by pledging to follow the principle and actions to travel for life. Thanks. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, sir. We're really happy that you were able to join us this morning and do a lot of these launches, which were part of the Travel for Life mission. We now have, on the 1st of October, ladies and gentlemen, across the country, a massive cleanliness drive that is led by the people, is being planned to be held as a tribute to Mahatma Gandhi on the eve of his birth anniversary on the 2nd of October 2023. To achieve the goal of this mega drive, the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, has identified 108 tourist locations for the launch of the Swachhata or cleanliness campaign. And this campaign will be carried out at all these 108 sites, as well as other places of tourist importance. The objective, of course, of this whole drive is to ensure that garbage is cleaned, sanitation is maintained, and single-use plastic is banned, and promoting the use of eco-friendly substances. For this, I'd like to now request the Honorable Secretary to please administer the Swachhata pledge that, again, we will have up on the screen. Mr. Rakesh Verma, the Additional Secretary, to please administer the oath. Sir, would you like to do it from there? I can give you a... It's up on the screen, sir. For the benefit of our international delegates who are also watching us virtually, we've got the pledge up on the screen in English, and of course the Additional Secretary will read it in Hindi. Will read it in Hindi.
महात्मा गांधी ने जिस भारत का सपना देखा था, उसमें सिर्फ राजनीतिक आज़ादी ही नहीं थी, बल्कि एक स्वच्छ एवं विकसित देश की कल्पना भी थी। महात्मा गांधी ने गुलामी की जंजीरों को तोड़कर मां भारती को आज़ाद कराया। अब हमारा कर्तव्य है कि गंदगी को दूर करके भारत माता की सेवा करें। मैं शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं स्वयं स्वच्छता के प्रति सजग रहूंगा और उसके लिए समय दूंगा। हर वर्ष 100 घंटे यानी हर सप्ताह 2 घंटे श्रमदान करके स्वच्छता के इस संकल्प को चरितार्थ करूंगा। मैं ना गंदगी करूंगा, ना किसी और को करने दूंगा। सबसे पहले मैं स्वयं से, मेरे परिवार से, मेरे मोहल्ले से, मेरे गांव से एवं मेरे कार्यस्थल से शुरुआत करूंगा। मैं ये मानता हूं कि दुनिया के जो भी देश स्वच्छ दिखते हैं उसका कारण यह है कि वहां के नागरिक गंदगी नहीं करते और ना ही होने देते हैं। इस विचार के साथ मैं गांव-गांव और गली-गली स्वच्छ भारत मिशन का प्रचार करूंगा। मैं आज जो शपथ ले रहा हूं वो अन्य 100 व्यक्तियों से भी करवाऊंगा। वो भी मेरी तरह स्वच्छता के लिए 100 घंटे दें, इसके लिए प्रयास करूंगा। मुझे मालूम है कि स्वच्छता की तरफ बढ़ाया गया मेरा एक कदम पूरे भारत देश को स्वच्छ बनाने में मदद करेगा।
Thank you very much, sir. For a wider reach, the students of schools and colleges and members of the Yuva tourism clubs have also been involved in the Swachhata campaign, which will take place at 108 tourist sites. The Honorable Minister will take his leave now, and we thank him for having graced the occasion. We will continue with our program. May I request you all to please remain seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us Mr. Atul Bagai, the country head for United Nations Environment Programme's India office. UNEP is the UN's leading global environmental body that sets the global environmental agenda. Mr. Bagai has decisively led from the front to fulfill its mandate across climate change, chemicals, waste and air quality, environmental governance, resource efficiency, environment under review, healthy and productive ecosystems, and resilience to disasters and conflicts. May I request Mr. Bagai to please now elaborate on how travel for life can play a crucial role in combating environmental pollution, bring about positive climate change, and contribute to sustainable development goals. Mr. Bagai.
Good morning, and at the outset I would like to extend my warm greetings from UNEP for World Tourism Day today, a day that reminds us how important this sector is to not only our lives but to the economy of all the countries. And I was very happy to see the speeches that were given before me, and Lina talking about environment actually led me to think that I really have nothing new to add to what was already said. So I'll just try to highlight how important it was to have Environment Secretary and Tourism Secretary sitting on the same dais. And I think that was something very unique that is happening at an environmental governance level. Actually, LiFE, as previous speakers have said, was launched along with our Secretary General on 20th October in Gujarat. And that was a very significant movement for the whole world. Our Secretary General, who was there at the launch, felt that this was a very innovative and forward-looking step that the Indian government has taken. And I must say that the Ministry of Tourism, after that launch, really leapfrogged this whole concept in a very short time. It was heartening to see how Ministry of Tourism in no time set up a sustainable tourism policy, set up a board as an institutional framework to implement that tourism policy, and also launch today the Travel for Life, which is so significant, as Lena said, that it's mindful consumption that really needs at a personal level to be the cornerstone of our lifestyles. How does tourism get affected by environment? And Secretary General and the Prime Minister have been talking about a triple planetary crisis, a crisis of climate, a crisis of nature, and a crisis of pollution. And all these three crises have a major impact on tourism and tourism industry. And I'm very happy to see not only the stakeholders who are involved in this, but the industry wholeheartedly participating in this endeavor of the Ministry of Tourism. Seeing both the secretaries on the dais today, I would like to suggest for the consideration of both the ministries to set up a steering committee co-chaired by Secretary Tourism and Secretary Environment. And we have a very good example. India was the first country 2 years back when they set up a steering committee on environment and health, which is co-chaired by Secretary Health and Secretary Environment. And I think a similar kind of a institutional structure at the national level, and I see a lot of secretaries tourism from the state governments here also, and also at the state government level would be really a very positive step on taking this Travel for Life mission forward. I would like to quote in the end a very famous couplet by a very famous shair, Ahmad Faraz. Of course, it was written in a very different context, but I think it really signifies how important travel for life will be for all of us. And he says, "Safar mein dhoop to hogi, jo chal sako to chalo. Sabhi hain bheed mein, tum bhi nikal sako to chalo." Of course, the whole context is different, but it signifies that the way environment is impinging on our lifestyles, on tourism sector, is going to become very, very difficult with all the heat waves that are coming for tourism sector to flourish. And finally, I was really very impressed with this whole Prakriti symbol that has been launched by the Ministry of Tourism. And I understand that they've also created a video on Travel for Life and Prakriti. And at the risk of repeating myself, because this was a message that I constantly gave in all the 4 tourism working group meetings, that Prakriti is really an important element for all of us. So while tourism sector has a famous saying of Atithi Devo Bhav, because that's again a basic element of tourism sector, I think following what Vidyavati ji and what Leena ji talked about, if we can bring in our mindset Prakriti Devo Bhav, I think that will be a big boost for Travel for Life, where we look at nature as God. And if we can put that in a mindset, I'm sure a program like Travel for Life will see a lot of success. Thank you for inviting UNEP, and all my best wishes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bagai. Travel for Life actions encourage sustainable consumption and production and promote sustainable economic development. Given the wide range of actions, TFL contributes directly or indirectly to almost all the SDGs. Travel for Life also enables the tourism sector for green investments, which is the theme of WTD 2023. So we now have a message from the Executive Director, UNWTO, Ms. Zorica Jurosevic. She has leveraged the power of the United Nations system and the international finance institutions, placing tourism at the center of the future of global cooperation. Ms. Zorica Jurosevic.
Your Excellencies, dear friends, today we celebrate World Tourism Day. This is a chance to reflect on the importance and power of our sector. Dear Minister, allow me to congratulate India and Your Excellency for your vision and leadership during the G20 presidency. The G20 New Delhi Leaders Declaration recommits to achieving SDGs. It has also highlighted the crucial role of tourism and culture as a means for sustainable socio-economic development and prosperity, and noted the Goa Roadmap for tourism as one of the vehicles for achieving the SDGs. The declaration also noted the role of Travel for Life in supporting the development of destinations that are sustainable, inclusive, and resilient. The Travel for Life program, inspired by Mission Life, progresses directly or indirectly each of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. It aims to promote jobs and economic prosperity. It calls for our sector to transition to a circular economy that is good for people, planet, and our prosperity. I would like to extend our congratulations to the Ministry of Tourism for this unique initiative. Travel for Life is a holistic approach to sustainable tourism, engaging every step of tourism value chain. It also puts a very important spotlight on the role of all of us as tourists to be the change we want to see. As Gadi said, if we could change ourselves, the tendency in the world would also change. We trust that with initiatives such as Travel for Life, we can be that change. Thank you very much.
While tourism throws up business opportunities, we need to have them aligned to sustainable choices and green investments. To tell us how this can be done, we have with us the chairman of FAITH, Mr. Nakul Anand, who will share the industry's perspective on TFL with us. Mr. Anand is a whole-time director on the board with ITC, overseeing hospitality and travel and tourism businesses of the company. In a career that spans more than 4 decades, he's been acknowledged for his vision, his commitment, and for his role as a thought leader to the tourism and hospitality industry. Mr. Anand.
Morning, everybody. Morning, Secretary. DG Tourism, Atulji, Rakeshji, those of you who are virtually connected, and friends who are present here. We are truly the first generation to feel the sting of climate change, and we are the last generation that can do something about it. At the outset, on behalf of the overall tourism, travel, and hospitality industry of India, as well as FAITH, I would like to begin by extending my compliments to the Ministry of Tourism for what has been an exemplary year of hard work and achievements. As world leaders grapple today with the throng of complexities that climate change poses, and subsequently stress on actioning resilient solutions to reach net zero goals, the tourism sector, I believe, has the potential to outshine all others as the Olympic flame blazing towards responsible and sustainable development, despite its complex relationship with the environment. However, the industry has its work cut out for itself, as the tourism sector is highly vulnerable to climate change and at the same time contributes to the emission of greenhouse gases. It thus needs to strike a balance between economic development and ecological preservation. If countries are to fulfill their undersigned commitments adopted during the Paris Agreement 2015 and hold the global average temperature increase well below 2 degrees centigrade, and further limited to 1.5, then we must address the fact that our industry poses a threat to sustainability. Our current travel and tourism model is unhinged and unsustainable. It leads to a generation of an estimated 5.2 gigatons of carbon each year, accounting for 9 to 12% of the total greenhouse gas emissions. To align the industry's impact positively to the direction of the Paris Agreement, emissions would have to be reduced from 5.1 gigatons to 3.1 of carbon emissions to prevent the projected rise of 6.2, which would be business as usual. Having said that, I would like to draw your attention to this session's most eminent topic and give thanks to Hon'ble Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and the Ministry of Tourism for designing the Travel for Life under the Mission Life Directive, tourism as a vehicle for achieving the SDGs. The decision could not have come at a better time, as India stands the chance to showcase its potential as a global leader in sustainable tourism by shifting its focus towards maximizing our strength in the arena of ecological, rural, and archaeological tourism, while also exploring our untapped potential in film and cruise tourism. Considering the rate at which tourism industry has managed to pull itself out of the adverse state the pandemic had left us in, it is evident that the sands of time have shifted in the hourglass for tourists, who now want to conclude exploring nature and their roots. And rightly so, though there is no Wi-Fi in the forest, you will still find a better connection. The unique Goa Declaration that has come to fruition from the remarkably held G20 working groups and ministerial meeting carves a new niche and set out to opportunities for tourism businesses to work towards green tourism, digitalization, skills, tourism SMEs, and destination management. India is perhaps one of the very few countries which has already covered expansive strides in remodeling its own tourism-based eco-friendliness, youth-friendliness, and sustainability. Yet, the introduction of the G20 tourism and the SDG dashboard act as a tremendous tool to keep the industry accountable and firm on its path to achieving its sectoral goals by 2030. Today, worldwide, many travel and tourism businesses, small and big, players, places, and projects are moving the industry towards a sustainable future. To quote a few examples, Portland International Airport, which opens in 2025, will be the largest locally sourced timber project. Why timber? Because timber has the lowest embodied carbon impact. Alaskan Airlines, and I'm not talking about the big airlines, has announced its first hydroelectric propulsion system that will achieve zero carbon emission in flight technology in the next 2 years. Scandinavian Airlines has announced a welcome booking for flights on electric planes scheduled to take off in 2028 with a zero carbon footprint. Latin America Airlines has announced that it will offset 50% of domestic emissions by 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. Moving to the cruise sector, Hurtigruten Norway has announced that it will have its first ship with first zero-emission cruise by 2030 under the code name of C0. Remembering that 12,000 cars per ship is the emission that one ship causes. On an average, passengers on a 7-day cruise through Antarctica produce the same carbon monoxide emissions that the average European in an entire year. The French cruise line Ponant has created new technologies that will pave the way for zero carbon cruising. Standout designs include sails that will provide 50% of the propulsion energy using wind power, solar panels, integrated into the ship, and fuel cells operated on liquid oxygen. Saudi Arabia is building Diriyah. It is largely built on the traditional vernacular architecture which evolved in response to the harsh climate. Key features will include passive ventilation, thick walls of thermal insulation, narrow streets, internal courtyards, providing shades and natural cooling, also making it a walkable, pedestrian-friendly city round the year with large-scale infrastructure kept there. Malaga has become a model of other cities on how it approaches technology, modernization, and innovation to support sustainability. Moving towards hotels, Green Safaris pioneered Silent Safari concept with solar-powered accommodation and vehicles, including electric Land Rovers. The latest addition to this eco-friendly fleet is eDow, an electric-powered dhow. Ocean Builders is a seapod and an eco-restorative floating hotel that takes on overwater bungalows with a minimal footprint on the seabed and power to generate coral growth on its own structure. Organizations such as Reshark, BioAgents, Healthy Ospo, Community Rhino, Coral Gardeners are all working towards sustaining endangered wildlife. An interesting one I came across was Kino Italy. Kino Italy creates co-working spaces that lure remote workers from crowded digital nomad hotspots and welcomes them into fading towns in Italy where they can positively impact local communities. Google's latest has low emissions, eco-certified hotels, and gives you alternatives to travel by train. Sustonica is an organization that has built sustainability standards even for short-term rental properties which never existed. Even more fascinating is what France is doing. France is working towards eliminating the need for intra-country flights and make fast and sustainable travel across the country by heavily investing in its network. Earlier this year, in an ongoing effort to cut carbon emissions, France banned domestic short flights between cities where the same journey could be made by train under 2.5 hours. Work will begin in 2023, and the Bordeaux to Toulouse train is expected to open in 2030. Closer home, I can only quote the example of the organization I represent, ITC Hotels. It is the first hotel to have 23 properties that are LEED Platinum certified, 12 of its hotels are LEED Zero Carbon certified, and 2 hotels are LEED Zero Water certified. Whether it has been surpassing the UN 30 sectoral targets consecutively for the 3rd year in a row, whether it is recycling, reusing more than 99% of our waste, whether it is meeting more than half of the electric consumption through electric sources, or deploying the state-of-the-art technology such as atmospheric water generators to create water, ITC Hotels is perhaps one of the most noteworthy examples in the hospitality industry. From a business vantage point, Travel for Life stands to make good use of our natural and cultural resources, which, when coupled with advanced digital payments, developed infrastructure, and a copious climate pro-investment, will open a floodgate of diversified employment opportunities, cultural and social inclusions. Job creation in this sector would thus not restrict itself to just tourism, but flow further into education, agriculture, communication, and aviation sector. Instrument then is the role of the program in creating jobs, strengthening economic output and forex, and naturally developing the infrastructure. Travel for Life's spirit of climate excellence, infused with socio-economic outcome, has propelled within us faith and its member associations a renewed vigor to achieve our vision, a vision of creating 3 trillion tourism GDP for India by 2047 through 100 million foreign tourist arrivals and 20 billion domestic tourism visits and more than 200 million direct and indirect tourism-driven jobs, only possible with the support that we have received from the government, and to work together harmoniously with all our stakeholders for our future generations. We must remember, we don't inherit the earth from our ancestors, but we borrow it from our children. There, ladies and gentlemen, is no planet B. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anand. Ladies and gentlemen, the Central Nodal Agency for Rural Tourism, under the aegis of the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, launched the Best Tourism Village Competition for villages, committed to the promotion and preservation of their cultural heritage and sustainable development through tourism. The evaluation was done based on various parameters in line with the UNWTO BTV competition, which included cultural and natural resources promotion and conservation of cultural resources, economic, social, and environmental sustainability, tourism development, and value chain integration, amongst others. We now have a video that we've received from Ms. Sandra Carvao, the Chief Market Intelligence and Competitiveness Officer at WTO, and we'd like to play the video for you.
Your Excellency the Minister, Your Excellencies, dear friends, warm greetings on the occasion of World Tourism Day to India. It's a pleasure to join you on this occasion as we launch Travel for Life. Its connection with the SDGs and with the 2030 Agenda are very obvious and recognized by all, including the G20 leaders. It's also a pleasure to join you today as we talk about the role of tourism in advancing rural areas. 80% of women, children, and men living in extreme poverty live in rural areas. People in rural areas are twice as likely to be in informal employment as those in urban areas. And finally, access to the digital world is almost half in rural areas when compared to cities. As you can see, there's many disparities between urban and rural areas, and tourism can be a driver to fight these disparities, to retain and attract population, to create new businesses opportunities, and to promote the values and preserve the environment. This is actually the spirit of Travel for Life. At UNWTO, we were very pleased to be working with the G20 Tourism Working Group under the leadership of India to produce the Goa Roadmap for achieving the SDGs this year. One of the areas that is highly relevant is the connection of tourists with this responsibility. We often think about the value chain, which Travel for Life also refers to. We also think about destinations, we think about governmental authorizations. But today, as we celebrate World Tourism Day and we talk about urban tourism, rural tourism, I would like to highlight how tourists themselves can be a driver of change. So with this note, I would like to close, once again, congratulating India and recalling that today we also will know the best tourism villages from India, an initiative that's very much inspired in the best tourism villages by UNWTO. And we do believe that together we can make all the principles in Travel for Life, achieving the SDGs and making a difference in rural areas. Thank you very much and a very, very happy World Tourism Day.
Thank you, Ms. Carvalho. The Ministry of Tourism, with the vision to honor the soul of India that exists in our villages, launched the Best Tourism Village competition earlier in February this year. The competition received enthusiastic responses from more than 750 villages from 315 districts of the 31 states and union territories. Let's take a look at the success of the competition through a short film that has captured the images from the villages.
साथियों, ये वो समय है जब हमारे गांव भी टूरिज्म का केंद्र बन रहे हैं। बेहतर होते इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के कारण हमारे दूर सुदूर के गांव अब टूरिज्म के मैप पर आ रहे हैं।
With a vision to honor the soul of India, the Ministry of Tourism launched the Best Tourism Village competition on the 16th of February 2023 under the visionary leadership of the Hon'ble Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, stepping towards Atmanirbhar Bharat and promoting Vocal for Local. The competition received overwhelming responses from almost 750 villages from 315 districts of 31 states and UTs. The competition has identified villages based on different themes like art and crafts, heritage, sustainability, etc. Central Nodal Agency provided the hand-holding to villages, districts and states at different levels of competition. More than 100 capacity building sessions were conducted for states and UTs, in which more than 800 stakeholders across the nation were given hands-on training of the competition. The competition has generated awareness about rural tourism as an alternative form of occupation, realizing the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. The applications from tourism villages were evaluated at the district and state levels. The tourism villages were evaluated on the following parameters: cultural and natural resources, economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, governance and prioritization of tourism, health, safety and security, promotion and conservation of cultural resources, social sustainability, tourism development and value chain integration, infrastructure and connectivity. Finally, around 80 villages were assessed at the national level. And 35 tourism villages have been selected as the best tourism villages of India in 3 categories: gold, silver and bronze. These best tourism villages demonstrate the power of tourism to impact lives in remote and rural areas. The Ministry of Tourism will mentor and promote these villages at regional, national and global levels. The best tourism villages also demonstrate the commitment of our travelers to Mission Life. A program under Mission Life, Travel for Life, encourages tourists to visit lesser known and rural areas instead of places facing over-tourism. The Ministry of Tourism congratulates all those who contributed to developing these tourism villages and created role models for other tourism villages in the country. The Ministry of Tourism will work with the state tourism departments, industry stakeholders, non-government organizations and rural communities to replicate the success of these villages in other villages having potential for tourism. For more details, visit www.rural.tourism.gov.in. Best Tourism Village 2023, honoring the soul of India.
In the Best Tourism Village competition, our jury selected 35 rural tourism villages that are going to be awarded and recognized in 3 categories of gold, silver and bronze. May I request our photographers to kindly leave space for our award winners to be able to walk through? Please move to either side. Please, thank you. For each village, we have a representative accompanied by the State Tourism Department official who will come up to receive the wooden plaque from the Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Ms. Vidyavati. May I request all of you all to please stand up. We've got the first 5 villages that have won gold, and we begin with Mizoram. Riek is the village that is being awarded, and we've got the Honorable Minister for Tourism, Government of Mizoram here, Mr. Robert Romavia Reuter, and Shri Lalro Zama to please come up. Shri Lalro Zama is the President of the Village Council Court, and you can see pictures up on the board. This is the Mizo Heritage Village that has been recognized as the Best Tourism Village 2023 with the gold category. We move on to the state of Jammu and Kashmir that has also won gold, and we've got Dr. Syed Abid Rashid Shah, Secretary Tourism and Culture here to receive the award. For the village Dawar, Dawar is the abode of Dards and Shins and has been recognized as the best tourism village. Nestled in the heart of the enchanting Gurez Valley, this village is a charming hamlet inhabited by the Shina people. We move to Uttarakhand, and we've got the village Sarmoli, which is the winner. Please leave some space for the award winners to come in. We've got Mrs. Poonam Chand, Additional Director Tourism, and Mrs. Malika Virdi, the Sarpanch and Director of Himalayan Arc, to receive the award. Congratulations, Uttarakhand. We move to the state of Kerala, and we've got Mr. Rupesh Kumar K, the State Nodal Officer, Rural Tourism Kerala. We also have the Director Tourism, Mr. P.B. Nu, and the President of Kantalur Grama Panchayat, Mr. P.T. Mohandas, receiving the award. The village is Kantalur in Kerala. The 5th village in the gold category is from Madhya Pradesh, Madla, and we've got Mr. Vivek Shrotia, AMD MPTB, and Mr. Jagdish Singh from Khokra. Please come up quickly. Madla is in the Vindhyas on the bank of the Kane River. Congratulations, Madla. We move on to the silver category now. The state of Andhra Pradesh, the village is Lepakshi, and we've got Shri L. Malreddy, the executive director, and Shri Adi Narayan, the village Sarpanch, here to receive the award. Adi Narayan? Yeah, please join. Arunachal Pradesh is next, and the village is Shergaon. We've got Ms. Adong Moyong, the resident tourism officer, as well as Ms. Sang Droma Thungon, the OSD Rural Development. Please come up. It doesn't matter. Go in there. We also have the resident commissioner here from Arunachal Pradesh. We move to Chhattisgarh. Sarodhardar is the village. Dr. Shubhda Chaturvedi, Head Communication and International PR and Senior Coordinator Marketing and Promotions, Chhattisgarh Tourism, as well as Mangal Singh Dhurve, who is a villager from the village, dressed in his finery. Please give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Sarodha Dhadar from Chhattisgarh, winning the silver. We now move to Lakshadweep, and the village is Kalpeni. We've got Mr. Arjun Mohan, the Director of Tourism, here to receive the award. Silver for Kalpeni in Lakshadweep. A coral paradise that you must visit if you can. We now move from the corals of Lakshadweep to Ladakh in the north, and Hemis is the village that is getting a silver. Srimati Kunzes Angmo, the Director of Tourism, is here, and the representative from Hemis village, Tunduk Dorje. From the cold environs of Ladakh, we move to the deserts of Rajasthan, and the village is Menar. We've got the Joint Director Rajasthan Tourism, Pavan Kumar Jain, here, as well as the Sarpanch of Menar, Pramod Dholi. Congratulations, you've won yourself a silver. We now move to Telangana, and we've got Srimati Shailaja Ramayar, the Principal Secretary Tourism, as well as the Sarpanch of the village, to please come up. The village is Pembarti from Telangana. We now cut across to Gujarat, and we've got Dr. Saurabh Pardhi, Commissioner and Managing Director at the Tourism Corporation Gujarat, and Khijadia village representative and a YouTuber also. The village is Khijadia in Gujarat. Just a minute. Uttar Pradesh, we've got Himanshu Nagpal, CDO Banaras, as well as Sham Narayan, the Gram Vikas Adhikari. The village is Korana in Uttar Pradesh. Mr. Nagpal and Mr. Narayan, please come up. Odisha is next. Bishwajit Rautrai, the Joint Director, Department of Tourism, and Lakshmidhara Subuddhi, the President of Raghurajpur, which is the village that has won silver in Odisha. Mr. Rautre and Mr. Lakshmidhara Subuddhi. From Odisha, we move to Assam. We've got Moitri Das, Deputy Director Tourism, and Dr. Kishore Hazarika, President of the Shining Green Ashiana. The winning village is Bishwanath from Assam. From Assam, we move to Daman and Diu. The winning village is Devka. And we've got Mr. Balbir Chaudhary, Executive Assistant Tourism, as well as Ms. Ragini Ben, Ward Member Marwar, Gram Panchayat. We move to Goa next. The village is Kotigao, and to receive the award, we've got the Sarpanch, Shri Anandu Gamba Desai, as well as the Resident Commissioner Goa, Mr. Sanjeev Ahuja. We move to Haryana now, and the village winning silver is Talao. Neeraj Kumar, the Managing Director, Haryana Tourism Corporation, and Mr. Pradeep Singh Phogat, the village representative. Himachal Pradesh is next. The village winning the silver is Chitkul, and we've got Mr. Shashank Gupta, SDM, and the DTDO, Kalpa, Mr. Subhash Chandra Pradhan, Gram Panchayat, we move to Jharkhand, and the village winning silver is Makloisganj. Mr. Shailendra, the District Tourism Officer, Ranchi, as well as Ashley Gomes, the representative of the Anglo-Indian community there, receiving the award. Karnataka is next, and the winning village is Hampi. The Deputy Director, Department of Tourism, Ms. Anita Bhaskar, and the President of the Hampi Gram Panchayat, Ms. Rajini, receiving the award. Hampi, of course, stands as a living testament to the grandeur of the Vijayanagar Empire, crowned by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, winning silver now. Moving on to Madhya Pradesh, and the village is Khokra. We've got Mr. Manoj Kumar Singh, Director Skill, and Mrs. Kaushalya Singh, beneficiary at Khokra. Madhya Pradesh. From Madhya Pradesh, we move to Maharashtra, and the winning village is Patagaon. Ms. Shama Pawar, Vilas Desai, who is the Sarpanch there, and Vasant Vaskar, the veteran beekeeper and the chairperson of Patagaon Honey. Shama Pawar, Vilas Desai, and Vasant Vaskar. Maharashtra, Patagaon. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our winners. From Maharashtra, we move to Meghalaya, and the village winning silver is Kongthong, and we've got Mr. Ronald Walang, who is the tourist officer there, and Mr. Rothel Kongsit, who's the representative from the village. Meghalaya, winning silver. Are there not three? Oh, okay, all right. We now move on to the state of Punjab. Nawapind Sardara is the village that has won. We've got Mrs. Rakhi Gupta Bhandari, the Principal Secretary Tourism. We've also got Mr. Himanshu Agarwal, Deputy Commissioner Gurdaspur, and Mrs. Satwant Sangha, representative from the village. Receiving the bronze, the state of Punjab. We now move on to the state of Rajasthan, and the village is Naurangabad. Coming up to receive the award, we've got the Joint Director, Rajasthan Tourism, Pavan Kumar Jain, and the President, the Sarpanch of Menar, Mr. Pramod Dholi. Naurangabad from Rajasthan receiving the bronze. We're now moving to the north to Sikkim, and we've got the winning village, which is Kittam. The Principal Chief Engineer, Mr. Neeraj Pradhan, as well as the President, Mr. K.N. Pradhan, coming up to receive the award. Sikkim, may I request you to please leave a little space for the awardees to come up? Congratulations, Sikkim. We now have the state of Tamil Nadu. Vettaikaranpudur is the village that is receiving the award. We've got the tourist officer, Tamil Nadu Tourism, Mr. N.P. Sivaraj, and the executive officer of Vettaikaranpuru Town Panchayat Office, S. Sasikala. From Tamil Nadu, we also have another winner. The village is Uladu, and we have Mr. M.G. Dhanasurian, who is the Assistant Tourist Officer, and R. Sridevi, who is the chairperson of the Vettaikaranpudur Town Panchayat. We move to the state of Telangana now. Chandlapur is the village that is winning. Srimati Shailaja Ramayar, Principal Secretary Tourism. The additional collector and the Sarpanch of the village to please come up. The last two states, Tripura, Vidyasagar Gram Panchayat is the winning village. Jayanta Deb Burma, Joint Director Tourism Department, and the member of the Vidyasagar village, Manna Roy, to please come up. We've got some more launches, na? And the last village, ladies and gentlemen, winning the bronze from West Bengal, Kriteshwari is the village. Ananta Chandra, Senior Deputy Secretary Tourism, and Prabhat Kumar Das, representative from the village, coming up to receive the award. Thank you very much, Secretary Ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have the Best Tourism Village Competition 2024. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we have more elements that we would like to share with you. So we also have the Best Tourism Village Competition 2024. This is next year's competition, which I'd like to request the Honorable Secretary to please click on the remote and launch this. These competitions are in accordance with the national strategies. We have the Best Tourism Village Competition, and we also have the Best Rural Homestay Competition. So first
under the visionary leadership of the Hon'ble Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, to develop Atmanirbhar Bharat with a spirit of vocal for local, the Ministry of Tourism has recognized the immense potential of rural tourism in India. The ministry has accordingly formulated a comprehensive national strategy and roadmap for the development of rural tourism in India, and national strategy for the promotion of rural homestay to foster the growth of rural tourism across the country. Rural tourism promotes sustainable and responsible travel, aligning with Travel for Life, a sectoral program under the Mission LiFE, Lifestyle for Environment. It encourages tourists to visit lesser-known and rural areas instead of places having over-tourism. Rural tourism creates new opportunities for jobs, livelihood, and empowerment of local communities, while rural homestays provide opportunities to strike a balance between use and dispose and sustainable tourism practices. Aligning with the national strategies, the Ministry of Tourism is launching the Best Tourism Village Competition 2024 edition and the Best Rural Homestay Competition 2024. The second edition of the Best Tourism Village Competition 2024 has taken a step forward and will recognize the villages in 11 different categories like heritage, agri-tourism, craft, responsible tourism, green villages, vibrant villages, accessible tourism, community-based tourism, adventure tourism, cleanest village, spiritual and wellness. The second edition identifies villages committed to uplifting the rural economy and preserving cultural and natural heritage through tourism. Recognition of such villages will serve as an exemplary model for sharing best practices amongst other villages. Similarly, the Ministry of Tourism is also launching the Best Rural Homestay Competition 2024 to promote and grow rural homestays. This competition is being launched in partnership with states, industry, and other allied stakeholders. The competition will serve as a platform for rural homestays to showcase their unique offerings, allowing tourists to explore novel and captivating lodging options. Best 5 homestays will be recognized as the best rural homestays of India under various categories like Best Rural Homestay, Vibrant Village, Green, Community-Driven, Women-Run Unit, Heritage and Culture, Farm Stay, Cottage, Ayurvedic and Wellness, Vernacular Architecture, All-Inclusive Practices, Scenic Beauty, Responsible Practices, Tree House, Villa, Cluster. The competitions will be held in 3 stages: district level, state level, and national level. To participate in the competition, visit www.rural.tourism.gov.in. The Best Tourism Village Competition 2024 and the Best Rural Homestay Competition 2024, honoring the soul of India.
A design challenge competition for institutes of hotel management affiliated to the National Council for Hotel Management and Catering Technology under the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, has been planned to develop innovative solutions in the field of edible cutlery. Once again, if I could request the Honorable Secretary to please click on the remote to launch this competition.
भारत सरकार का पर्यटन मंत्रालय इको फ्रेंडली एडिबल कटलरी क्रॉकरी डिजाइन चैलेंज आयोजित कर रहा है। जैसा नाम से ही स्पष्ट है, एडिबल कटलरी वो है जिसे खाना खाने के बाद खाया जा सकता है। अगर पूरा ना भी खा सकें तो बचा हुआ हिस्सा बायोडिग्रेडेबल होता है। अब सवाल ये है कि हमें एडिबल कटलरी की जरूरत क्यों है? प्लास्टिक हमारे पर्यावरण को भयंकर नुकसान पहुंचाता है। एक बार इस्तेमाल होने वाली प्लास्टिक की कटलरी क्रॉकरी इसे और बढ़ाती है। आम कटलरी और क्रॉकरी को धोने में पानी का इस्तेमाल होता है। बढ़ती जनसंख्या के कारण पूरी दुनिया में पानी की कमी होने लगी है। आने वाले समय में ये और बढ़ेगी। ऐसे में एडिबल कटलरी क्रॉकरी का इस्तेमाल पानी की कमी और प्लास्टिक से होने वाले प्रदूषण को कम करेगा। एडिबल कटलरी बनाने में मोटे अनाज के इस्तेमाल के बहुत अच्छे परिणाम मिले हैं। इस दिशा में इनोवेटिव उपाय सुझाने के लिए पर्यटन मंत्रालय द्वारा होटल मैनेजमेंट एंड कुलिनरी स्टडीज के विद्यार्थियों के लिए इस डिजाइन चैलेंज की घोषणा की गई है। इसके विजेताओं को सर्टिफिकेट्स और नकद पुरस्कार दिए जाएंगे। ये प्रतियोगिता आज विश्व पर्यटन दिवस से शुरू होकर 25 जनवरी 2024 राष्ट्रीय पर्यटन दिवस तक चलेगी। प्रिय छात्र छात्राओं, आप सभी के लिए ये एक सुनहरा मौका है अपनी इनोवेटिव योग्यता दिखाने और सस्टेनेबिलिटी लाने के संघर्ष में योगदान करने का।
Ladies and gentlemen, the Yuva Tourism Club program envisions a transformative approach to youth engagement by tapping into the potential of young minds and promoting them as ambassadors of responsible tourism and sustainable development. This program aims to inspire a sense of pride and ownership among the youth towards their cultural heritage and the natural resources around us. By fostering a deep understanding of their heritage and environment, these are our young ambassadors who will become catalysts for positive change in their communities. So in our efforts to take this further, we want to create a brand value for Yuva Tourism Club and therefore have created special YTC merchandise like t-shirts, caps, notebooks, pens, cups with the Yuva Tourism Club logo printed on it, so that our Yuva members can have their own identity by using this merchandise. So we are delighted now to announce the launch of the YTC merchandise, and I request the Honorable Secretary to once again do that. We've got special boxes that have all the elements of our merchandise. There's a t-shirt, there's a cap, notebook, pen, cup with the logo on it. She'll just hold it up for all of you to be able to see it. Thank you. I'd like to now request the Honorable Secretary to do us the honor of presenting 10 representatives that we've got, young ambassadors of the Yuva Tourism Club from the Greenfield School, Safdarjung Enclave. If you could just give each of them a cap, ma'am. We go in front. She doesn't have the caps. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our young youth club members. So let's give them a round of applause. Encourage them to take the message forward. If you can all look towards the photographers after you've got your caps. Just kneel down. Smile. You are our young ambassadors who will be taking the message, Travel for Life program forward. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to the close of the World Tourism Day program. On behalf of the Ministry of Tourism, I thank all of you who've joined us this morning, representatives from the various countries who joined us virtually, stakeholders, partners from industry and from other organizations. Thank you so much. A round of applause for all of you, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring the curtains down on the World Tourism Day. Please join us for lunch now outside. Thank you very much. The awardees. All award winners, you're requested to please assemble where? Here? All award winners, please come forward to the dais to take a group picture. All award winners. All the 35 award winners, please come up to the stage and we'll try and get a group picture here. नहीं वो तो ऐसे ही आएंगे. अब arrange the chairs तो नहीं होता. That should have been done before. They will not be able to.
It is decided like that. The chairs needs to be arranged.
Award winners, kindly wait in the room. We're making arrangements for you to be able to sit and get your photograph done. Just give us 5 minutes. We'll make the chair arrangements here. Just remain in the room. Don't go away. We're making the arrangements. Thank you. Check. Award winners, may I request you to please come onto the dais quickly so that we can get over with the photograph. Please come to the dais. जी. Award winners, please सामने आ जाइए. Please stand together. आइए सामने आइए, please आइए. No, at least let them come in. Can we request those who are the tall ones to please move back? The tall ones, please move back. It's only a photograph. You've already got your awards. Please move back. Can we request the tall ones, please move back a little so that the shorter ones can come in front? Cover the back. But the award winners are right at the back. आइए, आप उस तरफ चले जाइए. Okay, all right. Turn around. मोड़ो, हाँ. Please take your picture. Please move back. You can socialize later. Please move. पीछे थोड़े से चले जाएं, थोड़े से पीछे. जो लंबे हैं वो पीछे आ जाएं, प्लीज इस तरफ आएं. Come in front. आपका पिक्चर यहाँ पे हो रहा है, वहाँ नहीं, आप इधर आ जाइए, प्लीज. Come this side. Come this side. Can we just do one round first? आप आइए, सामने आइए, अगर फोटो लेना है. Please come in. Come in. Those who are short, come in front. Those who are tall, please go back.
Ma'am, please.
Photographers, are you all okay? You all stand on the pic. You all have to stand on that. We can't do anything. आप अवार्ड विनर हैं? नहीं, तो उनको जाने दीजिए, आप पीछे आ जाइए. अवार्ड